Hey, this is me building a $2 million a year business in public. Last month I made 170 grand. Next month I should do more than that. And I start every one of these videos with some question and answers just to give you guys value and then also improve my engagement because it incentivizes you guys to comment. How sneaky is that? Then I do some growth stats over the last 24 hours to show you guys what growth looks like for somebody at my level. And then we do some live strategy. And I got a very interesting live strategy session for you today. I'm going to be doing a whole school post and I'll be designing basically a potential offer that I'm thinking of making where I show people how to like launch an information product as well. Anyway, we get really meta with this stuff, right? Info products on info products on info products. It's like, how do you make $1 million a month? Buy my course where I show you how to make $1 million a month. The cost, $1 million. But I'm going to try not to get that meta. So first of all, you guys are probably wondering why I look like a teenager today. I'm just sick. Who would have thought that me not sleeping for 4 days in a row would have resulted in, a shittier immune system? Well, that's what happened. So bear with me here. This is my main channel at 84,000 subs. This has grown like crazy just because of this video here, which is popping off. It was 2 of 10. Now it's 3 of 10. That's okay. And then this one's the daily updates channel where I guys actually answer your questions. So that was a really prolonged intro. I know. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I try and get those down to like 30 seconds just for engagement purposes. Because, some people have never actually been on my channel before. And I want to just reward those people with some Q&A juice quickly. But yeah, just want to give you guys a look at what I'm thinking. First question is from Hari Gopal Sutara Alien. Are you an alien? Me too. Hey, Nick, I have a question. Suppose I find 4,000 leads from Apollo for a niche. Let's say coaches. Then I use Appify to scrape leads and reach out to all of them. Now that I've reached out to all the leads I've scraped, how can I get more leads for the same niche coaches, again, from Apollo? Is there any way? Thanks in advance. Yeah, for sure. Well, I think you're probably just like maybe being a little unnecessarily restrictive. So what you're talking about here, I think, is you're talking about total addressable market, which, in layman's terms, is just the total number of people that you can access in a market, right? So for instance, when I type real estate agent here, and then I have all these filters on the left-hand side, like job titles and location and stuff like that, I got 16,080. So let's say I scrape the whole list, right? Well, like, how do I get more real estate agents? I just change the location. So maybe instead of just America, now I also do Canada. We overrepresent in terms of our real estate agent. Oh, I guess we don't. Never mind. Anyway, well, boom, I just got another 786. Or maybe you see where it said number of employees. So before, I think it was United States here, and we had 16,000. And then I said 1 to 10 employees. Well, what if I just like remove the employee filter? Well, now there's like 182,000, right? What if maybe I focus on like the 11 to 20 niche? So I just got myself a few thousand more. So I think this is a TAM question. So maybe, I guess what I'm saying is you'll have to change your filters. Or you may have just like ran into the entire niche. And if you've run through all of the leads that you could source using Apollo for a specific niche, like you do have to find other lead acquisition or sourcing mechanisms. A big thing that I did when I did my super, super successful campaigns, 20 to 25% reply rate, which were just nutty, by the way, or get lists from conferences that your target audience goes to. You can get lists in a variety of ways. Believe it or not, if you just confidently ask a lot of the people that organize the conferences for the lists, and if you imply that you're part of their conference, or hell, if you just don't really explain yourself, you just imply, a lot of them will just send you the whole list because they'll think that like you're part of the group or something. It's weird, but you could actually do that, and it might work like 25% of the time. And these lists are juice. I mean, we're talking like, if somebody is on a list to go to a conference, like a coaching conference or something, think about it. They already have so first of all, they're of established credibility. They're in the niche that you're looking for. They're big enough to be invited to one of these things. Then they have the money to travel out to one of those things. They have the money and the renown to speak at one of those things. They're also, whole point is networking. So if you email them from within the list and say, hey, I heard about you from X, Y, and Z conference, just wanted to reach out, they're immediately just going to assume you want to network. So your open rates are going to be nuts. And then because of all those pre-qualified things, like the reply rates tend to be nuts as well. So I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, man, you're going to have to like source leads another way if you run into TAM or TAM issues, or if you're just like not using filters, and that's the quickest and easiest way to do it. Okay, Star Platinum says, hey, Nick, thank you for answering my question. It's kind of a follow-up question. Just reminding me, my last question was, I basically asked if you're working with my friend who does lead gen and testimonials smarter than me just working on my own. He asked me if I got a customer yet or not. And we've probably had about 20 sales calls and literally closed none. We usually go through cold calls and ads. Wow, you're doing ads? Now, it might be because we suck at sales or maybe poor quality leads, but generally during the calls, I feel like the AI automation part gets overshadowed, and the 80% of the selling is by the lead gen through paid ads, and the AI automation is just 20%. So it almost feels insignificant, or sometimes feels extra. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Do you think that's an issue or does it not, as long as we make sales? Well, it's really interesting. You're kind of stumbling on the thing uh, without even intending to. The thing is that customers have pain points. And when you press those pain points, they tend to reward you disproportionately versus all of the other things you could talk about. So it sounds like the pain point here for most people is lead gen. Paid ads are just a mechanism, but it's lead gen. So every time you guys chat about lead gen, people respond and they want to tell you more and they want to just, you keep on pressing that pain point, they're good about it. Automation is not the product. Automation is just a means to an end, right? Automation is not like a thing that you should be selling. Automation is, well, maybe take a step back. Automation is not like the end all be all. Automation is just a way to make something work better. So for instance, if a company has a lead gen pipeline and it's not working very good, you can sprinkle some automation on it, it can work a lot better. Or if a company has a fulfillment process and it already works okay manually, you can sprinkle automation on it and you can reduce headcount and scale it up without having to increase the number of people you're paying. So hopefully this gives you my perspective, but like, yeah, the fact that they're focusing on lead gen is not bad. Okay, so the 15 to 20 sales calls, if this is like your first ever AI automation customer, or maybe just customer in general, having like a sub like 7 or 8% conversion rate isn't super weird. I think what's probably going on though is you're probably just not following a standardized like process. The second that you start following a standardized process, you can make that process a little bit better over time. Like on the first 3 calls, you'll notice that people don't really respond to something, so you'll change up your process a tiny bit on the next 3 calls, but you'll still be going off of the same process, the same standardized step-by-step system. I call this a sales skeleton, and I have one here, the automation agency sales skeleton. You get this in Maker School, of course, and there are a bunch of other things you get in Maker School about sales as well, but this is something that I've revealed on this channel before, so it's cool if you want to jump on it and see it. But basically a simple process, and this is an example of how bare bones this can be, as long as it's just a process you stick to, is you start by building rapport. Then between every stage, you just transition. So, hey, you ready to jump in? So now they're happy and they're good to go. Then you frame the call. So here's the way these calls normally go. Just first want to learn why you're actually talking to me right now, because you probably got, 50 of these pitches in the last week. So what made mine stand out enough that you wanted to work with me? Or what problem are you suffering really that made you feel like you needed to solve it right now? Then I'm going to get some background into your business. So I'm going to ask you some questions about like your numbers, your lead gen. And then finally, if I can help you, I'm going to tell you exactly how. I'm going to give you everything you need up front, whether or not you choose to work with me on this or somebody else. I just want you to walk away from it all with value, because I know that's how you get ahead in this industry. Are you on board? Yeah? Okay, great. And then let's talk about you now. Why did you decide to book? What are your goals here? Have you tried anything to get to this before? Why now? What's the customer journey like? What's your revenue per employee? What's the sales history? Okay, great. I think I have enough now to propose a reasonable solution here. Do you have any other questions for me just before I do that? Okay, sweet. So here's what you do, or here's what I've done for insert other person here that helped them get to insert other number. You could use yourself as a case study. But that's when you screen share, you show them, so check this out. This is a simple make.com automation that solves that particular problem that you're suffering from. How it works is blah, blah, blah. This is like 10% of the call. It's very little, maybe 20%. But the big chunk is like all this stuff here. You're justifying the pain point, understanding the pain point, and then paraphrasing it back to them. And then what I always say is I'll just say like, hey, it's hard for me to price this exactly. I want to scope it first, but it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, $2,500 to $3,500. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check out the specific scope, aka the specific steps that you would need in order for me to do your thing. And then once I have that, I'm going to write you a proposal, and it's going to be a customized proposal. I'm going to write it literally like I write like a letter to you or something. It's going to be, it's going to be me to you, not me to a corporation. And if you like it, then ideally you would, sign it in the next couple of hours and we get moving. How's that sound? Are you ready to get this in your inbox in the next 30 minutes? Yeah. Okay, great. Let me just take a few steps here, sort all the stuff out, and then I'll let you know. So I actually don't like closing on the call. But again, this is just one of many processes you could build through, right? And the point isn't that my particular process is great, because it's not. There are definitely some problems with my process. But the point is it's a process. And when you follow a specific process over and over and over and over again, you just get really good at it. So that's probably your big issue there. All right. Thank you very much, FFGGT6C. Thank you. Yeah, I very much appreciate that. And I can't stand the smell of weed or the noise of people walking the flat above me as well. I feel so understood. Yeah, I feel you. At least Short says, just so you know, I watched around 20 videos in your main before you met your daily channel. One of them didn't even know this channel existed. Just so you know, if you want to grow this one faster. I'm okay. Thank you, though. I will allow this to be naturally discovered. I also think that there's something to be said about like, holy crap, Nick's been doing this the whole time and it hasn't even talked about it. Like, man, talk about like the goodwill that buys me, right? And when somebody does end up getting on here, I literally have a giant library of like 100 videos that they can go through. Like that's pretty nuts, right? So I'm not super worried about like not converting all that immediately. But I do appreciate it. There's an opportunity to pitch your communities. Hey, Nick, I want to start my own AA agency. I've been watching your channel for a couple months at this point. I know I'm procrastinating a lot. I'm considering Maker School for the accountability. I'm 20 years old. I have a full-time job as a SDR, and at the same time, I'm doing an internship. You say busy seasons are the best seasons to start since we'll always be busy, right? But I'd love to have your honest opinion. How many hours should someone put daily for the task to really make the best out of Maker School? Because I'm wondering if I join now with everything on my plate and try to figure it out, or do I have to wait until I finish my internship in 2 months? Well, also, how much money should someone consider allocating to your 90-day process aside from the subscription fees? Thank you, Meggie. Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate it. But you ended up joining anyway. Well, moving on. No, I'm just kidding. For anybody else here, couple hours, 2 to 3 hours. First couple of days, you'll probably like, this is like a day-by-day log. First day, maybe you spend like 3 to 4 hours. Second day, you spend like 2 to 3 hours. And then third day until like the nth day, it's like 2 hours or so, I would say. Maybe a little bit more. I mean, some people have chastised me in the past by being like, well, it takes me a lot longer than that. It might at the beginning. And if it does, apologies. But these are lead generation and outreach strategies that you tend to get pretty fast at pretty quickly because I just force you to do a ton of them. So regardless of how much time it takes, at least initially for the first few days, you eventually like gravitate to like a 2.5, maybe 3 hour a day workload. And if you think about it, most people can fit that in. And actually a core part of the program is I force you, or I tell you, I ask you, I should say not force you, but I ask you very nicely, hey, please don't jump ahead. Actually just do this day by day, because the most important skill we're learning here is not how to do a specific type of lead generation or how to set up automations or whatever. It's actually just like daily accountability and habit tracking. It's literally just like the gym all over again, just for money, if you think about it that way. So that's what I would do. In terms of how much money, it's tough for me to say because all the scales with the amount of outreach that you do. My recommendations are like, 10 Upwork applications a day. They are, I think it's like 2,000 something cold emails in the first month. And so not a lot of people in practice stick to this, unfortunately, probably just because, there are some limiting beliefs that stop them from submitting a certain number of Upwork applications to jobs they don't feel comfortable doing, or there are limiting beliefs that slow them down on the cold email front or whatever. So I want to say most people in practice probably spend an additional like 150-ish bucks a month, probably 150-ish bucks a month. Yeah. The reason why I like this is because this is probably the lowest capital outlay you will ever get in any business model. Like if we think about it logically, like most businesses that you try and start these days, if this is time and then this is like money invested, you basically have to just like spike it up. All right. And then like, hopefully eventually you'll see some sort of like payoffs in yellow to that. But you have like this big period of time here where there's like nothing, right? And it's like, oh boy, am I going to make money on this or just piss it all away? Maker School's not like that. Maker School's pretty reasonable. It's like, this is your capital outlay on month 1. This is your total outlay on month 2. This is your outlay on month 3. So it does scale, obviously, but then the amount of time it takes until you start delivering some sort of results is a lot shorter. We just kind of spread it out over time, I'd say. And then you also get discounts and stuff like that with various coupon aggregators and my own affiliate links. So give that a try. Okay, guys, my throat is killing me, so I'm going to drink a bunch of coffee, which is definitely not going to help my throat. I'm definitely sick now that I'm talking for this long because hope I didn't get strep or something. Holy. Okay. Ryan Jones says, I played RuneScape and lol, age is showing, Nick. Oh boy, is it. RuneScape is that really amazing OG RPG from way back in the day that everybody played in the mid-2000s. And then LOL stands for League of Legends, which is a fun game that I played as recently as maybe like a couple of months ago with a good buddy of mine. League of Legends is awesome. You guys want to do like a group League of Legends game? That'd be sweet. I play LeBlanc all day. That's me. I'm the deceiver. Study Motivation 6838 says, thanks for answering my previous question. My name is Anas, by the way. Hey, Anas, how you doing? I sent over 2,000 cold emails, resulted in nothing, but shifted to value asset approach with cold emails. Sorry. Pretty expensive though. Using Claude to create 7 LinkedIn posts to provide upfront values in Google Doc. In 4 business days of doing this, I got 9 positive on 209 emails sent. That's what I'm talking about right here. That's how you do it. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. But after that, I sent more emails, same approach, same email copy. Positive replies just dropped, even though I was sending more emails. What should I do here? Change my lead list? Originally, I scraped 2,500 leads because I'm selling content automation. And also, what would you suggest for a more cost-effective way to do asset-based outreach via cold email? Last question. If I were to sell this value-based outreach automation system, what would be the asset one can provide? Well, great work on getting 9 positive inquiries on 209 emails sent. I will say that's a pretty big drop off between positives and then calls. Like you're only converting 20% of these. But listen, it's your first time doing this, so I wouldn't sweat it too much. This is very standard, I would say. That's definitely the big lever that I would pull, though. If you can get what looks like 5% positive reply rate, and you're like 5% PRP is phenomenal, right? Very few people can do this. But right now, your conversion from this to this is, I don't know, about 20%. A lot of people have much better conversion rate here. So to me, this is what stands out. Okay. So what happened? What might have happened is you might have crashed your deliverability. It depends. How much did this drop, right? You might have crashed your deliverability. The 5% might have also been a fluke because you only sent 209 emails. Maybe maybe it's not actually 5%. Maybe it's 2%, but you just got lucky and you got the 5% initially. So now you're actually feeling the real thing. It really depends on the number that dropped, though. So yeah, I guess in order, check your deliverability for one. Do a bunch of tests on your deliverability. Use Glock apps. It's a free service. Well, I think they have a paid thing now, but it's mostly free. And then run your mailboxes through them. Do some deliverability tests like Mailbox Tester and stuff just to verify. Regarding the costs here, you're using Claude to create 7 LinkedIn posts. I don't know. It depends on what the cost is right now as well. I wish you provided that. I'd be able to really hammer this out for you. GPT-4o is pretty good now. It's not going to be as good as Claude, if you're using the 3.7 or whatever. It's not going to be as good as that, but it's still going to be okay. Yeah. So I might just experiment with GPT. If you're to sell this value-based outreach automation system, what would be the asset one can provide? Well, it's what you're doing right now, right? It's exactly what you're doing right now. Hey, I'm selling this automation system. The proof is in the pudding. Or sorry, hey, you like those LinkedIn posts? Cool, well, I have a system that does it. We can tweak the tone of voice. We could tweak everything. We could have it run for you completely on autopilot. That's how you do it. So that's the asset. Nice work. Thank you very much for taking all of the tips that I've given you over the course of the last couple of weeks and implementing them. It's huge to see results like that. Sal says, RuneScape, Roblox, MapleStory, Fiesta, Outspark, the game that sped up my typing speed the most. Tell me to offer to scale up people's accounts and levels for a price. That's funny. We're a bunch of nerds in here, huh? Something I'm struggling to reconcile, he says. Google Workspace allows 2,000 emails a day to be sent. Instantly just 30 campaign emails per account plus 10 warm-up emails. Am I missing something as how I can optimize for the 2,000 emails a day to be sent? I'm debating just buying a couple more Workspace emails to at least have 30 per account. Yeah, definitely. I'm not fully understanding what the issue is here. You're talking about you're probably talking about on a per workspace here. But actually, I think Instantly recommends that you have 2 domains per workspace now. And then each domain you have 3 emails. So it's actually, if you think about it, they recommend 6 emails per workspace account. And then if you multiply that by 30, you get 180 emails a day, which is suspiciously close to 1/10 of the thing. So maybe the guys that made this determination and Instantly just wanted to be at 1/10 of the total volume or something for safety. So yeah, you know what I would do, man? Just buy either Instantly pre-warm mailboxes, Soil, or head over to Zapmail and see if they have pre-warmed as well. Let me just double check. Yeah, they may have some pre-warm mailboxes, but basically they're already warmed up. There's a low spam risk. You can immediately start sending higher limits from day one, and they're pretty likely to land. The obvious downside is they cost more money, right? And you got to buy the domains as well. But they'll do all that abstraction for you behind the scenes. Okay, one more. Michael says, Nick, the accelerated YouTube comment Maker School exclusives are awesome. It feels like you're always one step ahead answering my questions before I even ask. Watching your daily updates for over a month helps too. Tell me about it. I love it. Yeah, pattern matching the thinking. When you said we're in the AI gold rush, really click with me. The way I see it, we're the ones selling shovels to our clients. You're providing us the shovel parts via YouTube and the blueprints through school. Everybody wins. Thank you. Yeah, 100%, Michael. Check us out. I wrote this in my biography, actually, a while ago. This is many years ago. Gold rush? Right. So when I started this, one of the business models was selling AI and process automation to digital services companies similar to my old content marketing agency. We figured that, me and my business partner, Noah, given the inevitable proliferation of AI and related technologies, it's like a gold rush. And in a gold rush, there's always plenty to be money to made selling shovels. That's kind of the reliable thing to do, I would say. So, yeah, that's actually where left click came from. That idea of my agency came specifically from the whole, in a gold rush, you got to be the one that's actually selling the tools that enable people to use it. So if everybody wants AI, it's like the tool is AI in their business. So yeah, that's that. Let's do some brand stats, shall we? Brand stats are where I just cover my growth. So let's do it. 84,304 on my main channel. So we went up by 1,141, which is technically the largest sub growth day on record now. Not the largest relative day, but the largest sub growth day. Now, this isn't accurate because my last daily update was really early. So I've actually had an additional like 3 or 4 hours, but whatever. Sometimes you just got to look at it and say, whatever. 117,009 on the Instagram. And then, sorry, daily updates channel. Let's do that too, shall we? Are we at 4444? I'm ignoring my coffee again. I must drink this. One moment. Yeah, it looks like it. That's pretty solid. Okay. Why don't we also just run through Maker School and see where we're at with that? We're coming up on 180 grand MRR with just this one product. That's crazy. I've really popped off in the last month. Check out the school games. Where am I at now? Am I second or third still? Sorry, we gotta go money. Yep, that's me. I'm coming up on this fella. Cool guy. Never chatted with him, but I'm sure he's cool. Also, his diamond. Why is his diamond way cooler than my diamond? What's going on here? Whoa. You guys seen this? What the hell? And the goat. Does the goat change into a horse? Is this my browser, or is there something really wonky going on at exactly this level of zoom? If anybody knows what the hell that is, let me know. Okay, so we've since overshot Team 4X by a while, and then basically every other one as well. So that's kind of cool. Oh, actually, hold on. Is this Joel's? I think this might be Joel's, no? Not entirely sure. Yeah, I had a call with a guy named Joel the other day, and I'm pretty sure it was from this. Or might be from something else. I don't know. Okay, anyway, why am I doing this? Why am I telling you all this? Why am I focusing on this? Well, the reason why is because I had an idea the other day. Check this idea out. So I made kind of like 0 to 1 money. Service implementations. And I did that through copywriting, which I would consider my first real taste of actual money, and then AI agency, which is my second real taste of even more money. And the revenue and profit figures here are, right, this is, to be clear, I was talking revenue here. I'm talking like money in my pocket here. So, I just realized that that's probably, yeah, I got to be more consistent with all this. But anyway, this is my first taste at like, wow, my company's producing a ton of revenue. This is my first taste of like, holy crap, if I structure my business right, I can make a ton of profit. I think margins on this were about 60%. I should have the figures. Anyway, so 0 to 1, I did it with service implementations, right? And I made like, more money than a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but it's really like, if you zoom out and look at the grand scheme of things, it's actually not all that much money. Okay, then 1 to, I don't know, let's say 10. I did this. Coaching a specific business model, which was, is, because I'm still doing it, AI and automations, right? So, I don't know, like what Maker School now does. I hate the lag here. I'm going to have to change this to daily update 4 pretty soon because I can't really write without it breaking on me. We're really, we're just under 180,000 now. That's 180K a month. Right. And then make money with Make. I don't actually know how much money this is making me right now. I don't know what this did last month. It's at least 50K, but, because some of my stuff is annual, like a lot of my stuff's annual memberships, and I have a revolving door of annual members now because we're coming up on 1 year. I don't take all of this into account. I do, like if I made $5,000 in annual signups, then I add that to my revenue for that month. Yeah. So anyway, so what is this? Let's say $230K a month, just with the info alone. And I'm not taking into account the affiliates, which are probably going to be at least like 10 or 15K this month. I'm also not taking into account the other stuff like the ad revenue, which is like 10K this month. And I'm not taking into account all of the other stuff that I have here. Okay. Then obviously I still have my agency revenue from here added onto this. But anyway, I just want to show you guys what the levels of abstraction look like. So now check this out. What if I coach coaches? So what have I done in the last year? I basically went from having no idea how coaching worked to being like one of the top coaches in the world, if you think about it. Well, maybe not top coaches in the world, like by revenue, because there are a lot of people that do high ticket coaching that make more money, way more money than me. They make like 20x this, 30x this, right? But maybe if I niche down a bit, coaches on low ticket offers. I think I'm like, probably the best low ticket offer guy on School. Let me just check what Spencer's is. Is it a low ticket offer as well? No, check it out. His is really high ticket. Well, not really high ticket, but it's like high ticket. That's $12,000 a year, right? He only has 359 members. Meanwhile, I have a low ticket that's like 100 something bucks. So yeah, I'm, on School anyway, and School's being the biggest community platform. Maybe coach community coaches on low ticket. What if I start coaching people on how to build low ticket communities? Well, that's one level up on abstraction. And this is where we get into like the meta stuff where it's like, how do you make $1 million? Well, I'm going to tell you how in this course titled How to Make $1 Million. And by the way, the cost is $1 million. It's like that guy that wrote the book, how to make, oh geez, I forgot what it was. It's really funny. It was like how to make $500,000 selling online books. And the cost of the book was like $500,000. And I guarantee you that page, there's like a single line and it's like, it's probably like a link to the Amazon page or something. So funny. So I know it gets really meta after a while, but obviously, you got to look at it from my perspective. These are all just like levels of abstraction, right? There's the actual service implementation down here, which makes you more money than 90% of people will ever make in their entire lives, which is cool. But if you want to make more money than this, you want to get into like absolutely absurd territory, you got to start coaching specific business models like I'm doing now. And now this is absolutely absurd. And then I'm thinking if you want to like, let's say I do 2.3 million a year, what if I just start coaching community coaches on how to put together low ticket offers? Okay. I don't know. This is just the first inklings of my thinking. And I thought I would do this publicly. So I don't know if this is at all anything that I'm going to tackle, but the way that I always validate ideas is I will just like start doing a little bit of it and then I'll see how the market responds to it and if there's potential. And what do I mean by doing a little bit of it in this case? I mean, doing a little bit of marketing. So how do I market this? Well, there's actually a whole community of people that are the perfect people on planet Earth to market to. They're in this community called Schoolers, which is literally a community of people that are trying to build communities. There's 51,400 of them. And I'm very good at community posts. So what I'm going to do, hey, look, it's my friend Jack. Nice to see you here, Jack. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to do a big breakdown post. It's going to be something like $180,000 a month on School. Everything I did, and then step-by-step breakdown. In this post, I'm going to go through literally everything I did to do my low-ticket community, like step-by-step guide on literally everything. I'm gonna peel back the curtain. My daily management strategies, the comments, the margins, how I think about things, how I structure the community. Literally run everybody through it from top to bottom. Because every time I've ever done this, by the way, I just make more money, right? Like everybody's so scared of holding on to knowledge, but like every time I've ever just shown everybody how I'm doing everything, and they end up making a bunch of money with it too. It's not like I get outcompeted by it. It's like it forces me to come up with new and better approaches, which makes me a better business owner. And then the whole environment eventually just becomes a better and more interesting environment. And then I get rewarded disproportionately because people respect the authenticity, right? So I'm just going to do the same thing that I did basically from this transition. I'm going to try doing it on this transition too. Now, when I say I'm going to try, like I'm not going to dedicate my whole life to this. I'm just going to spend like 2 hours whipping up a post and I'll like put it out there and see how it goes. But that's my idea. Okay. So this post is going to be massive. It's going to be a very long post, probably going to be like 5,000 words or something, because I just want to overwhelm people with value. So actually, first things first, how long can I make a school post? Is there like character limits or something? Okay, well, I'm just going to try something. This is a test. Okay. So, oh, I might have overshot this a little bit. Did I overshoot this? Yeah, that's kind of laggy. Okay, well, let's just go over here, write this. It's already 10,000 words. So I'm just going to copy this. Let's go to make money with May, because there's probably going to be very few people. Okay. First of all, did this cut off? Let me just check. Did this cut off? I'm just going to delete this stuff, paste this in. Nope, it hasn't cut off. Oh, shit. If I do this, does everybody get notified? Okay, sorry. I might have like another community I can test this on. NoFluffMake.com community. There you go. This is like my first one. Whoa. Who the hell are these people? Oh, yeah, sorry. There's somebody that wanted to put a... Shit, it's archived. Somebody wanted to put together a community for me. Oh, man, how do I do this without letting people know? Can I just create a test community? Do I have to add my card? I can add my card details. Well. Oh, I got it. I go to one of my old posts that I've already done. And then I'm just going to update the post text. Right. That makes sense. Yeah. It's my old one. No, this is happening in 2 days. So let's do this one. Okay. You see this? Save. Is this too long? Yeah. So I should be able... Oh, hold on. Is that the whole thing? No, I think it got cut off. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, no, it probably didn't. It's just a lot of text. Let's just verify this is the same length as this, so that nothing cut me off. No, nothing cut me off. All right. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to write like a massive monster post. It's going to be like one of the best posts I've ever written, probably. Super detailed. And the benefit to this is like, I'm just going to put this up on my blog anyway. So I'm like producing content for schoolers, but then I'm going to do it on mine. Then I think there's an unintended side benefit, which is that if I really knock this out of the park, then I think Sam Evans or Alex Ramosi will somehow hear about this. And yeah, I guess that's what I'm thinking of anyway. I mean, like, if my post is really that high value, then maybe it'll get pinned. I think I need to warm up the community a little bit more, though, so I don't really know how I'm going to do that. Like, I made a bunch of posts earlier today under schoolers, and I had a bunch of people, like, respond to me. In school, the cool thing is, like, you get instant social proof because... Let me see, do I have a post here from schoolers? No. Just this group, maybe? No. Oh, did Jack actually do this exact same thing? Oh, shit, he totally did the exact same thing. Nice job, dude. That's so funny. I had no idea. Okay, but you see this? Oh, yeah, this is going to be way more in-depth. Unbelievably in-depth. I'm just going to give you everything. Like, everything. Okay, anyway. So, on school, you get a little, like, thing next to your name, right? So people know right off the bat who you are. I don't know if I responded to this. No, it doesn't look like I did. Check this out. So this is just like social proof on school, right? Like Kevin, you know, I'm sure his community is cool and all, but he doesn't have like this stuff next to his name. So I just get instant credibility basically when I post. It's going to say like Nick Saraev, and then there's going to be like a, you know, diamond thing next to it. And people are going to be like, oh, wait, who the hell is this guy? Because they all know what that means because that's what they care about. Okay. So that's the idea. And then, yeah, I just want to become a more regular face because Sam uses this every now and then. And honestly, I feel like if I just take the same approach that I've taken to my own communities, which is just showing up every single day, and I just show up every day here for like 5 minutes a day, and I do, or 10 minutes a day. I do that for the next like 2 weeks, maybe a week. Then I drop like the biggest banger post on planet Earth. People will now recognize who I am. I've sort of warmed them up. They see Nick. Sam's going to see me as well. Alex is going to see me. Then maybe when I do a pitch to Sam or Alex later on something, it'll seem a lot simpler and more straightforward for them to just be like, oh, you know what? I recognize that guy. That's the guy that's been absolutely crushing it, right? That's the guy that like drove another 50 people to start school communities. That's the guy that's made us a little bit of money already. And I'll obviously thank them in the posts and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of neat, huh? What do you guys think about that? How dem apples? Anyway, I think it's going to be fun. I just had that thought while rolling around in bed the other day. I couldn't sleep, obviously, because the last few days have just been really rough. And I had to wake up very, very excruciatingly early the other day to drive my father to the airport. Which I know some people are going to be like, why the hell don't you just hire somebody to drive your dad to the airport? Well, it's because I love my dad and I want to make sure he's delivered safely. But I also don't get a lot of time to see him these days with work. So, but you know, while I was rolling around in bed, I thought about this and I was like, how cool would it be if I could try this approach for the community builder stuff? It really doesn't take that long to become good enough at something that you could start charging outsized amounts of money with it. I think we're already all seeing this because I know some of you guys have your own communities now, or you're trying to launch your own consulting offers and products. So that's kind of neat. But I will say that it's a very incestuous industry. Like everybody knows everybody. And after a while, like I understand now why so many coaches and consultants have bad names and why there's such a, bad reputation with this stuff, especially in like the make money online niche. Like I really get it because you start talking more about how to make money than you do giving value. And it's just a very quick and easy way to like become divorced from that. So anyway, just me thinking about this out loud, I think is insulating me against ever becoming that sort of person. So yeah, and maybe I'll look back on this in a few years and be like, aha, that thinking is responsible for me being the biggest guy in the space now or the most successful one or whatever. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there because I'm obviously veering off into yap land. Nobody really likes that. I hope everybody has a lovely rest of the day. I'm probably just going to pop a couple of ibuprofen and then put my head under the covers until I recover from this, and I will finally sleep. And yeah, just wanted to let you all know that I really appreciate you, and everybody who makes it until the end of my videos is a real one. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.